Welcome back. Stay with me as we expand our knowledge with videos from all over the internet that's going to make you question reality. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share with your friends. And also click on the notification bell icon so that any content that I post, you will be the first to get it. Let's just start.
When humans first made it to the Americas, they encountered a world of prehistoric weirdness. Let's start with one of the strangest animals, the giant Cuban owl. This was the largest owl to ever exist, being nearly 4 feet tall and weighing over 60 pounds.
Damn, that's
It wasn't able to
huge.
fly, it would have ran around on its powerful legs and grabbing animals just like a raptor out of Jurassic Park. Imagine being the first people to Cuba and seeing silhouettes that looked like men in the distance, only to find out that they're giant bipedal owls running around. And if you thought that whitetail that your uncle shot was impressive, meet the American mountain deer. At around 600 pounds, it was way larger than most of the deer around in the Americas today. But there is always a bigger fish. Meet the stag moose. It was around 1,500 pounds, so around the size of the biggest moose alive today, but it had very strange antlers that were way different than modern moose. Also, flying above you at any time could have been a Lornis incredibilis, which had an 18-foot wingspan and was probably like a modern-day vulture. And then there were the glyptodonts, which are relatives of modern armadillos, and they had massive shells made up of over 1,800 osteoderms, which are bony plates. Some of them had pretty small tails, others had longer ones, and some even had giant clubs at the end of them. This animal, known as Doedicurus, weighed up to 8,000 pounds and had a massive tail club. The tail club would have looked like this in life, with massive spikes sticking out the side. Just imagine being hit by one of those. It has been calculated that it could swing its tail at the same force of a medieval catapult. And speaking of giants, we cannot forget Castroides, the giant beaver. These animals could be over 7 feet long and up to 270 pounds in weight, making them way larger than our modern variety. Even from a distance, they might even look like a man. At over 7 feet long and over 270 pounds, these animals absolutely dwarfed their smaller cousins. And interestingly, Native Americans even have stories of giant beavers that stood as tall as a man. And you can tell that this giant beaver was about the size of a man, especially from a distance. How creepy would it be to see one of these things just chewing on the side of a tree? All I know is I would not want to mess with those massive teeth. They were the size of bananas. But not all these animals were giant. I mean, Macroacana wasn't super large, but just weird. Like, look at that weird trunk it had. It was kind of like a tapir deer animal. I don't even know. It's so weird looking. And if that wasn't weird enough, meet Toxodon, the giant rhino hippo looking thing. They were absolutely built like tanks. Just look at those bones. Though they didn't have a horn like a rhino and didn't have those massive teeth like hippos, I'm sure they would have been deadly to predators if they got mad. Did I even mention the giant sloths too with the giant claws? I think I did in the other videos, but giant sloths had huge claws like this one that's over like 17 inches long, so imagine being hit by one of those. Studies even found that giant sloths were able to move their arms very quickly, which means they could have definitely swiped you. Weighing as much as an Asian elephant, I don't even think a short-faced bear would have wanted to mess with one of these animals. The first people to make it to the Americas encountered some of the most terrifying and just outright weird animals you could ever imagine. And they lived alongside many of these animals for over 8,000 years. Go check out my recent video about all the extinct animals Ice Age Americans encountered. It's really insane how many animals there are, and I actually covered the real evidence, like, short-faced bare bones with butchery marks, meaning we were eating them, and also like mastodon vertebrae with projectiles lodged in them, meaning we were hunting them. Go check it out. I cover all the real evidence and talk about all the animals we encountered. Or not we, I guess my ancestors weren't there. But still, watch the video.
Europeans have always distorted time, not simply by misrepresenting the past, but by restructuring temporality itself to serve conquest, accumulation, and erasure. Where other civilizations mapped time through ecological rhythm, ancestral recurrence, astronomical precision, and communal memory, Europeans violently imposed chronology as a tool of imperial accounting. Time was no longer cyclical, sacred, or symbiotic. It was linear, extractive, and state-sanctioned. In pre-colonial West Africa, the year was structured by rain, harvest, ritual, and intergenerational obligation, not debt collection. Among the Inca, time was spatial, recorded across quipus and the land itself, a knowledge system Europeans couldn't read, so they destroyed it. In the Islamic world, calendars coordinated vast scholarly networks across centuries of uninterrupted lunar documentation. In East Asia, dynastic timekeeping incorporated astrology, philosophy, and governance, while Europe is still fumbling through feudal chaos declared its fractured feudalities to be the center of the timeline. So Europeans recalibrated time to begin and end with themselves. They redefined
Okay.
ancient civilizations as early, not advanced, so they could claim modernity while plagiarizing mathematics, medicine, agriculture, and architecture. They declared vast civilizations, Aksum, Great Zimbabwe, Angkor, Tenochtitlan, Vijayanagar, Al-Andalus, outside of history, because their survival contradicted the European timeline of dominance. They renamed eras to reflect rupture, not continuity. Prehistoric, classical, medieval, modern, each stage centering around Europe and subordinating the rest. Time became a ladder, with Europe at the top and the rest of the world as steps. They installed the Gregorian calendar by colonial decree, suppressed the Hijri, silenced the Mayan long count, outlawed the Ibla 4-day week. Wherever colonial governance arrived, time was privatized, measured by bell towers, railroads, tax records, and bureaucracies. Temporality was no longer a local relationship. It was a colonial imposition, calibrated to European clocks and commercial shipping routes. They converted labor into hours, hours into wages, and wages into life expectancy. Time became a resource for exploitation. Factory bells replaced ritual drums. Debt replaced seasonal cycles. The workday replaced the sun. Where African and indigenous peoples told time through movement, herds of stars of elders' voices, Europeans told time through contracts, ledgers, and mechanized war. And they call this precision. They call this civilization. They erased generational knowledge, then asked where the records were. They burned oral libraries.
That's so
They
bad.
accused the survivors.
That's so
of illiteracy.
evil.
They shattered mnemonic systems, then declared their absence as proof of inferiority. They defined modernity not as technology, but as proximity to European time. Countries were developing if they hadn't yet conformed. Nations were behind if they didn't obey global markets. People were late if they remembered anything before colonization. And when the future resisted being shaped in their image, they declared the past dead and called it objectivity. Even now, their timelines are designed to erase contradiction. Slavery ended in 1865. Colonialism ended in 1960. Apartheid ended in 1994. They point to dates like borders, like facts. Meanwhile, extraction, domination, and epistemicide continue under different names and reinforced schedules. The entire modern world runs on stolen time. Academic tenure built on disappeared indigenous knowledge. Banking systems operating on wealth extracted from enslaved labor. Museums archiving civilizations while denying their present. Europeans did not invent time. They fragmented it, monetized it, politicized it, and forced the planet to obey. The result is not global coordination, it's global distortion. Because when Europe conquered land, it imposed borders. When it conquered time, it imposed chronology. And in both cases, the goal was not understanding, it was control. Time, like territory, was seized. Its cycles were broken. Its keepers were killed. And its value was indexed to capital, not memory. Europeans have always distorted time, to steal the past, to monopolize the present, and to preempt every future that refuses to follow them. Cope.
Wow.
In
Damn.
life, we got influences, we got influential people, and we got people who influence the influences.
True that.
This is what I'm saying.
Hmm?
Some people, right, get all their inspiration from you, all their source from you, right, are a pleasure to speak to, a pleasure to be around, a pleasure to deal with behind closed doors. But the moment it comes to them, placing them, I'm usually talking about an artist or like a designer or anybody of any stature, of any status in the creative endeavors, right? But it all stops the moment that they have to place you next to them in any type of way, where you become visible to their people, to their community, to their crowd. That's where all that friendly shit gonna end. I'm gonna tell you about this. A person's whole steez lifestyle get up will come from you, right? And they know how to play the game. They know how to keep you sweet, keep you nice, and all these type of things. That's what you have to watch out for. But the moment it comes to showing you, putting a highlight on you, like, yo, this is the person that is doing my thing, right? This person's styling me. This person's like curating my life, or whatever it may be. It's not gonna happen unless your community or your face card or whatever it may be is so strong that they're forced to, because otherwise it just won't work. They'll get called out. Your people might cause a ruckus, whatever it may be. And them people in those positions of power, they look for people like that. They don't get the influence from themselves or from other big people. They get it from small creators that haven't yet been discovered, that really care, that are really about it, and really go, like, are really about this thing, their line of work. You know how many people that are clients of mine come to me, they DM me, talking about, I need this, pulling up. When they come and meet me, I see, feel like, you know, I'm observing. So I'm knowing what their interest is, or what their interest from the questions they ask, or the things that they mention. Oh wow, you're mad on the Cali thing, innit? You're mad on the muscle ups. I need to learn that. Some of these people watch every single one of my stories religiously. And this gym shit, getting fly in the gym shit, positivity, just being strong, all of that. You lot seen it. It's a new trend, like, it's a whole new trend. Who started that shit? And it ain't even about that, you know what I mean? Because what? We don't care about that. But a whole man's modeled his whole lifestyle after me. If you go check, they won't even like a post. Will never reshare. Never will tag what they got from you or anything like that. Why? Because they're scared of their people, their crowd, seeing the source, where it really comes from. They're afraid that, oh, they're going to see that. This is the source. Oh, I'm going to fall in love with that person. Like, they're going crazy. Oh, you did it like that and be like, this person's doing the real thing. Stay woke, man. You got to stay woke. Not all money is good money. And at the same time, also, you can't be a victim of it. Like, I'm not going to be here and make some mad calling out video. I have to do hella of these videos. I don't care. And you have to get to a point where you don't care. You know, because it's part of the game. This shit is give and take. Like, if you can't roll with the punches and take the bad with the good in this game, then this game ain't for you, baby boy. You feel what I'm saying? You've got to learn how to navigate this shit and stay sane. This is why a lot of people lose their shit. Because you are having attacks thrown at you all the time. There is things being thrown at you all the time. And you got to, like, dodge it and maneuver it and deal with it accordingly. If not, you're gonna lose your mind in this shit. How's your philosophy?
This man right here is a completely unstoppable force. They mocked him. They doubted him. But the world watches as President Trump flipped the global script. Every single country is coming together, okay, and negotiating. Even the EU is bowing to the MAGA king. Taiwan has agreed to drop all tariff on the United States, joining
Taiwan?
India, Israel, Vietnam, and Cambodia, who intends to zero out their tariff. The EU, European Union, has just offered a 0-0 tariff with the United States. Well over 50 other countries have called to negotiate with President Trump. Now, when I tell you this man is a true businessman and will take America to the next level,
I believe so
am not
too.
kidding with you. He will put America right back on top where we belong. Literally, number one.
We need to investigate everybody who worked on Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Because somebody who was in that room is a time traveler, and I am sure of that. If I were to tell you 13 years ago a game developer would predict the future, you'd probably call me crazy, right? But stay with me. You see, Black Ops 2 was released in November of 2012, and in every single Call of Duty game, there's a campaign. And in the campaign of Black Ops 2, China and the United States are in a Cold War. But why exactly did China and the United States get into a Cold War? As it says right here, it's because China stopped exporting rare earth elements, which is something that sounds ridiculously insane, like that would never happen. Only yesterday, that's what China did. You may be thinking, oh my gosh, this is a reach. It's a video game who said sometime in the future this would all happen. But it gets even crazier when you realize when Black Ops 2 was set. Because in this video game, it's not set in 2012. In fact, it is set in the year 2025. As in the year 2025 that we are in. Meaning that 13 years ago, The game development team that was building Black Ops 2 accurately predicted all of this down to the exact year that this is happening.
I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make a deal. Please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything.
That's
I'll do
crazy.
anything, sir. And then I'll see some rebel Republican, some guy that wants to grandstand, say, I think that Congress should take over negotiations. Let me tell you, you don't negotiate like I negotiate. Congress takes over negotiating. Sell America fast because you're going to go busted.
Okay, this is truly alarming. You got China, Iran, Russia, and North Korea all seeming to be in perfect alliance with one another. And one thing that's for certain is that they all have common enemies. All of these countries have common enemies. And one of the common enemies happen to be us, the US. One of the common enemies happens to be us and Israel, which is very interesting because you got Iran trying to get nuclear weapons. You got North Korea and their dictatorship, and you know that their little Kim Jong-un, he's ready to go any other day. We know he is cool with Putin. You have China with the trade wars on the U.S. Remember, the Bible talks about wars and rumors of war, and that is a sign of the end. And all we are seeing in the news headlines is wars and rumors of wars. But the interesting thing here is that Revelation talks about a war, and it talks about the great kings of the East. The great kings of the East. Russia, East. China, East. Iran, Middle East. North Korea, East. The kings of the East. It talks about a 200 million man army.
200 million?
And you might say, well, there's not 200. If you add all of these countries together and you put their people in an army, you put these people in combat, it would probably equal out to 200 million people. And so they're going to march across the Euphrates River and wage war on God's people.
I don't
That's
think so.
Israel, and it seems like it's also going to be the U.S. if they don't alliance with each other to take out the U.S. first. Iran is trying to get nuclear weapons. Y'all might think that this is just nothing. I'm telling y'all, I was like, America is not in Bible prophecy. And if it is, it's Mystery Babylon. But if it's not, that means it's not in the Bible, which means when the time of the end comes, America has to be removed, which makes this very interesting, especially with Iran trying to get, and mind you, America is just making enemies with everybody right now. They talking about drone strikes in Mexico. They striked Yemen 70 times.
70? Yeah, I remember that.
They're into it with China. They're into it with Iran, with the nuclear weapons. They have been into it with North Korea. And Trump just threatened Putin. And you got everything else on the sun. You got everything that's happening inside of the U.S. as well. You got us. We're into it with Canada. We're into it with everybody but Israel. It's really us right now versus the world for the most part. That's not a good look. I'm telling y'all, that's not a good look.
They tried to erase this African kingdom that existed before ancient Egypt, but history is written in stones and the truth is resurfacing. Before Egypt's first dynasty, there was Tassidi, land of the bow, a powerful Nubian kingdom in what is now Sudan. It existed long before Egypt's first pharaohs, but its history was erased. And in the 1960s, archaeologists at Gustul in northern Sudan discovered something shocking. A 5,300-year-old incense burner engraved with the king wearing the white crown of Upper Egypt. But here's the thing, this artifact predates Egypt's first known pharaoh, meaning there were Nubian kings who wore the crown first. Excavations at Cemetery El also revealed royal tombs older than Egypt's first dynasty, with artifacts of early forms of pharaonic symbolism, suggesting kingship started in the south before moving north. And let's not forget Kerma, Africa's oldest urban centers. Massive mud brick Defufa structures in Sudan built at least 4,500 years ago, prove that Nubian had advanced architecture and a centralized political system. They controlled gold, ivory, and trade routes that connected Egypt to the rest of Africa and beyond. So why don't more people know about this? Because colonial era Egyptology separated Egypt from its African origin. But these discoveries are proving that Tassidi was Africa's first kingdom, and Nubia was the origin of Nile Valley civilizations.
This woman is shocked to find out what they've been doing to our food. Watch this.
No, I'm not tweaking, right? This is bread. I'm not
So it
squishing.
appears to be. Check this out.
My
This
hand
is
is turning
insane.
pink. That's how much
Plastic?
you're squishing, right? So when
Really?
you squish bread,
Plastic?
it should stay.
Yep.
I trust that. Crazy.
Why the fuck is it coming back to life?
This is insane,
Just give
y'all.
a second.
Normal bread does not do this, or at least the bread back
It's-
then
it's-
does not do this.
It's pumping back up. It's pumping back up.
There's so many chemicals in it, it's not even funny.
I'm not making this shit up. It's pumping back up.
Be careful what you put in your body, y'all.
Let's just be a process it.
Bread should not be doing that.
Stop eating this shit, y'all.
But it's not even just this brand of bread, it's all of it. Everything. Pretty much nothing is safe anymore. And the stuff they claim is good for you is wildly expensive. Oh yeah, check out my YouTube video. The CIA hired a remote viewer to find the Ark of the Covenant. Check it out on my YouTube. As always, thank you for watching. Stay weird.
Y'all, can we talk about how a large majority of women who are in the church or overly religious, they lack a lot of the interpersonal, like day-to-day skills of being a human being. I remember being a child,
I
and
agree.
the women who were the most caught
So
up
much.
in being a Christian or going to church were the same women calling other women out of their name, the same women who went home and just like put all their steam, all their rage onto their children. Like the complete opposite, a complete 360. You have a lot of churchy women, 20, 25, 30, 35 plus, who are still finding themselves in abusive or weird relationships. They in church every day, but they getting used and can't even see the fact that they're getting
right.
used. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
They're in church every day, but they don't understand how their energy rubs off on other people, or how to, I don't know, just do basic things as a person. And I will say, growing up religious myself, we were really sheltered. Religious women are really sheltered. You aren't allowed to date like a normal teen. You aren't allowed to explore and really get to know who you are like a normal teen. So you end up becoming a 40, 50 plus year old woman who still don't know herself.
True.
Who still don't understand or can't understand why she isn't living a life that she wants to live, and therefore just judges other women that she sees, you know?
Ну, знаете, я вам хочу что сказать.
Sorry, okay. It's too late.
Соединенные Штаты опоздали. лет
50 years too late. Damn.
Они не смогут остановить развитие Китая.
Yeah. They won't be able to stop China's
Это
development.
невозможно сделать, так же как вот невозможно сказать солнцу, не вставай. Оно все равно поднимется. Но есть объективные процессы экономического развития. Они связаны с миллионом факторов. И вот эта попытка сдержать развитие Китая, она негативно отражается и на экономике самих Соединенных Штатов. Они делают производство ряда своих товаров низкоконкурентоспособными. А если дальше пойдут по этому пути, сделают вообще неконкурентоспособными в отдельной отрасли экономики. Так сложилась кооперация на протяжении предыдущих десятилетий между экономикой Китая и Соединенными Штатами. Она взаимосвязана. Все это понимают. Но вот те действия, которые мы наблюдаем сегодня со стороны Штатов, мне кажется, что они имеют контрпродуктивный характер.
Men are fucking around and finding out that the side chick is never really worth the risk. See, there's a flip side from a psychological standpoint of a man cheating with his side chick and what happens after the breakup. What you think is happening versus what is actually happening. Okay? The side chick is the actual consequence for his cheating on you. Yes. She is bad karma. She is bad energy for what he did to you. He just doesn't see it yet. but he's going to fuck around and find out soon after you move on. See, what we're learning about Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez is that he tried to be petty when he broke up with her. He knew that he hurt that girl, but he tried to dig deep, you know. He tried to put the dagger in and twist it, and then squeeze some lemon juice on there so it would sting extra. He tried to really hurt her worse after the breakup by immediately getting with the side chick, Miss Haley, marrying her, and then later on having a baby. All that was to sadistically punish Selena. And we got to start looking at Justin Bieber for what he is. He is a narcissist. This is textbook narcissistic behavior, ladies. But see, what Justin didn't realize in that moment is that Haley was his bad karma for what he did to Selena. See, ladies, when you are dealing with a narcissist, what you got to understand about the traits, one of the many traits of a narcissistic man, is they are repetitive. They're so repetitive with their behaviors that they become super predictable. Okay. Narcissists are competitive and they're obsessed with winning. So even in a romantic relationship, he has to hurt his romantic partner and beat her in this competition that he's created. And how does he beat his romantic partner? By bringing in a side chick. The side chick is the cherry on top. The side chick is what breaks a woman. It breaks a woman down to nothing. He wants you to feel that pain when you meet the side chick. When you find out that he's been cheating and you actually see who the side chick is, he knows it's gonna break you. It's the worst type of betrayal. And that betrayal is intentional. Y'all gotta understand, when you're dealing with a narcissist, he intends to fucking hurt you. He is very sadistic. He is getting off on the torture. He wants to see you in pain, ladies. So, yeah, Justin Bieber, he might be everybody's sweetheart, secret crush. He has a baby face. All the girls love him. But we must not forget his real character. He is truly, in fact, a narcissist. The way that he did that girl, Selena, that's narcissistic behavior. And one thing about narcissistic men, when they're cheating on their romantic partners, is they get so caught up with trying to destroy their partner, they're thinking about right now. The narcissist is never thinking about the future. He's caught up with now. What can I do to manipulate the situation so that I can get the greatest outcome for myself right now in the present? The narcissist is not thinking about the future. What happens? What could happen? What are some possibilities? In his mind, he is that confident that his partner that he's trying to destroy will never leave him. And when you trace the behavior of a narcissist back to his childhood, to his mother has coddled him and taught him that he can do what he wants and get away with no consequences. So when he becomes a grown man and he cheats and he harms and abuses his romantic partner, he doesn't expect his romantic partner to give him consequences for his bad behavior. Why? Because his mother never gave him consequences. His mother coddled him. And because his mother is a woman, he associates his mama with all women. Matter of fact, you become his mother in his mind subconsciously. He cannot split the two. So because mommy did not give him consequences when he was a little boy, she coddled him. He will expect you, his romantic partner, to do the same as his mama. When he misbehaves and he does something in poor taste, or he's abusive, he does something really evil and mean, like cheating, he does not expect you to give him consequences for his bad behavior because mommy never gave him consequences. So he's not thinking about the future and what could be. He's not thinking about what could happen if his romantic partner gives him consequences for cheating. He's caught up with the right now. So that's why Justin was so quick to rebound and get with Haley and marry her. All that was orchestrated to continuously abuse Selena and torture her and hurt her. He was sadistically getting off on Selena being in pain. And it hurts me because I also understand that Selena has lupus. She has a chronic illness, which makes me like really disgusted at Justin. It wasn't enough to break her heart, but knowing that she has a health issues, it makes him all the more of a monster. But Justin is learning now that him jumping and rebounding into a relationship and marriage with Haley was a huge mistake. He did not think things through. He just rushed into things with her, trying to hurt Selena. Now he's stuck with Haley. And not only is he stuck with her, they have a child together. And he is in so much pain and trauma and depression, he didn't even think about the child. The child deserves 2 healthy parents. He should have held off on bringing a child into this world until he got himself together mentally. So he's learning now that getting with Haley was the biggest mistake ever. And Selena has gone on to heal and level up, and he has no control over her. She's a billionaire. He cannot even claim her success. She's a self-made billionaire. And he's got to sit back and watch her enjoy her success, enjoy her new man, enjoy her engagement, while he's stuck with the woman that he could care less about. He don't love that girl. He used her to hurt Selena, and it backfired severely. So you got to understand, ladies, the more that we stand on business, stop giving these men second chances and give them consequences. When you give him consequences for his cheating and bad behavior, you're doing something that his mother never did. His mommy never gave him consequences. But now he's learning that every woman out here in this world is not like his mother. We will give you consequences for being disrespectful and cheating and being abusive. Get your little side chick and do whatever you need to do with your side chick. Because when it's all said and done, you're going to wish you would have handled things much differently. And that's all I'm going to say, ladies.
Whatever happens in the family stays in the family.
That was so long.
That's where silence started and accountability died. Our elders got good at covering things up and calling it strength. Then dressed it in the family that stays together, prays together, and called it healing. And then trained silence became sacred because questioning it would be disrespectful. People will say, I miss my family. They brought us together no matter what. Together for what, a good time? There was never a mission. Potlucks, prayer circles, and problems, and then the funeral gatherings where people cry louder than they've ever
These are so
Turns out the rug wasn't covering a mess, it was hiding the museum of denial. Then you tell us not to miss church because Jesus will fix it, while we amen ourselves right back to sleep.
CIA scares experiments, mind control, aka MK Ultra.
Dr. Sidney Gottlieb is the Central
Society.
Intelligence Agency's chief chemist. He's also directing a project of vital importance to national security. In government labs, universities, prisons, brothels, and so-called black sites across the world, the CIA is testing the effects of various conditions on the human mind. Their goal is to find the most effective methods of mind control and its potential as a tool for espionage and warfare. But the human mind is not so easily controlled. First, it must be broken.
Okay.
For over a decade, the CIA used thousands of men, women, and children as involuntary test subjects in their search for mind control. Prolonged exposure to psychoactive drugs, sleep and sensory deprivation, hypnosis, and psychological punishment are just some of the experiments they tried. Much of the evidence of MKUltra was destroyed, but not all. For decades, people have been piecing the story back together. In the process, they found hundreds of disturbing experiments, the cover-up of a CIA agent's murder, and the origins of an LSD-fueled counterculture revolution. But still, questions remain. Who was behind MKUltra? Why was the CIA interested in mind control? And perhaps, most importantly, what did they find?
This is the Rockefeller Report, released tonight, 299 pages. It says many things, that the CIA did engage in unlawful activities, that it did go beyond its mandate, that it did succumb to political pressures from the White House. It confirms there was domestic spying on American civilians, unlawful wiretaps, the opening of private mail, even a drug testing program involving the use of LSD against unsuspecting persons.
That's so wrong. That's super wrong. Okay. The war never ended. Okay.
In 1942, the United States created the Office of Strategic Services. It was the country's first foreign intelligence agency, responsible for conducting espionage missions in World War II. But in 1945, after defeating the Axis powers, President Harry Truman dissolved it. He reasoned that the U.S. didn't need a foreign intelligence service, especially during peacetime. But the war had never ended. Only the enemy had changed.
True that. I agree.
I strain so bad, I get hemorrhoids. Oh, man. I need you to hear me out. We're in the military. Medical military is not the same as the free world. But I don't know that because I'm new. I'm thinking, what's the military? We fighting for the country. We gonna have the best goddamn medical service. I go there in the beginning. We getting ready. You get up at 4 in the morning. Yeah. Excuse me, you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Formation is at 4. I gotta have everybody in order. I can't get nobody in order because my stomach is and I got hemorrhoids. Get to the drill sergeant early. I said, I can't make it. I gotta go to sick call. It's called sick call. He said, all right, get your battle buddy. You can't go nowhere by yourself. I get my battle with the same nigga, Crawford. Oh, man. Crawford, the Jamaican guy, rolling with me. He ain't tripping. It's my dog. I tell you, Crawford, I don't need everybody to know this because it's a little embarrassing, but I need you to come with me to sick call. Wherever I go, you gotta go. So if I'm missing all the training today, you missing it. What's going on, Larry? I said I got hemorrhoids. Motherfucker fall out laughing. Yeah, I am laughing. Goddamn right. Oh, yeah, right.
There's an accent for me, man. Crazy.
Boy, what do you eat? Your ass is turned up. He's laughing. Easy, bro. I'm in pain. I really need you. He realized, he's like, oh, my man is actually up. Let me be easy. Because when I tell you, it's like I got grapes in my goddamn ass.
Damn.
It's bad. Yeah. I need to get the sick call. I get the sick call. They sign in. I'm like, they need to scoop me past all this. I got pressure in my. You niggas gotta fix this. I'm looking at the facility. I'm like, they don't look like it's a state-of-the-art facility. They don't look state-of-the-art. State-of-the-art. It looks like it's just a clinic. You look like
United States?
I'm like, the military is treating us like it's a walk-in. This is. I'm signed in, right? I'm so cold. I'm right here with it. I'm on one ass cheek. I'm on an ass cheek. I'm like, man, come on, call me. So it said, Laird. All right, cool, that's me. I get up, battle buddy comes in. I'm like, hey, stay back at this point. I don't need you in the room with me. This about to get real.
It's private now.
It's one doctor in there. He said, see you having a little slight hemorrhoids. I'm like, this ain't slight. Doc, this real. All right. Drop your BDUs, battle dress uniform. Pull BDUs down. I got my back turned to him. He said, bend over. I bend over the table. He said, whoa. 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 I'm like, I got my back turned to him. I'm like, whoa, what? Okay, this is serious. I don't need to hear all that. I need you to get these grapes out my motherfucking ass. Yeah. He says, okay, we got to do surgery right away. Let me get my assistant in here. I'm like, you got to call another in here? You can't handle it? I'm like, all right, cool. He was like, I'll be honest with you. I've never dealt with this type of case before with hemorrhoids. This is a lot. So, you know, everything we do is like, it's my first time. So this is kind of what it is. And at this point, I don't give a. They could be a homeless with a goddamn stethoscope out of me like, he's qualified. I got to get this out my ass. I got the grapes in there. I need them something to stop. He says, I could hit, my back is still turned to him, right? He said, we got to get him a gown and get him, you know, situated. Give me the gown. So I'm like, they're about to have surgery, right? Surgery means, to me, you gonna numb me with something.
What?
You gonna have to numb me with something.
Is that what
we in that thing, and he said, I need you flat down, need your chest flat down, stretch out over the table, right? He says, I need you to get on the side of the table now. So now the table is long ways. I'm on the side of the table like this, right? He's like, I need you to straddle it I need to straddle your whole body. So my body is leaning over the table. You understand?
Yeah.
Leaning over the table, right? I'm so vulnerable. So he still,
right.
assistant. He said,
You're
okay,
vulnerable.
The
Damn.
assistant comes in. I feel assistant. He got my ass cheeks. I'm like, y'all need to tell me what y'all gonna numb me with.
Ain't no numb, bro.
Ain't no numb.
What? No, that's a lie.
This is how
Damn,
low advanced
that's so
this
bad.
hospital is. They got me spread out over the goddamn
That's a
table.
lie.
Ass out.
That's so bad.
The assistant gets some tape, tapes it to my ass.
What?
Tapes it.
Damn,
takes
that
the other
just
tape and puts it to the table. Takes his other ass cheek.
Damn.
To spread my ass cheek. Now my ass cheeks is wide open.
So
Wide ass
vulnerable.
open.
Damn.
I'm sitting back. I'm like, I know they didn't teach all this in school.
Yeah,
Ain't no way they told you to put tape on my ass in school. You is trying shit out. You are practicing. At this point, I'm out there like this right here. So he says, oh, the tape is slipping. We got to get some more tape. Because his ass is sweating. On my life. Take my life, God, right now if I'm lying. On my life, Ernest. On my life, son. I said, oh my gosh. They got my ass spread open with duct tape, bruh. The military. The United States Army.
In South Carolina.
In Fort Jackson, South Carolina. They got my ass spread out. My man says, we got to get some more tape because the sweat is making that other tape come out. So they got to call another lady in there. They call another lady. So it's 3 in there, and my ass is out.
Right
Ain't
now.
nobody even got to get these drapes out my ass yet. So my man now is he's shooting something on the outskirts of it to try to numb it, right? But it ain't no strong shit. It ain't no strong shit. So
At
they
least
do what they can do with
they
the
give
surgery.
you
Afterwards,
anesthesia, so.
it's time for me to get my medicine. Let me tell you what they gave me, brother.
They gave you.
They gave me suppositories. They said, you need to stick 3 of these up your ass a day. I said, bruh, I'm going to be honest with you. Ain't nothing. I'm going to wear this thing off. Ain't no way I'm finna do this. So now I come out and tell my battle buddy Crawford what the just happened to me. Crawford is laughing under the mother bleachers, laughing his ass out. Boy, they do what? They do.
The accent for me, bro.
Popped open. And he kept saying, your ass was popped open. It was popped open.
Oh, damn. But then at least they tried. They helped, right? So I was thinking something really, really bad happened. Alright, but then I mean, they helped, and that same day he was able to be okay. I mean, he was saying they didn't give him any anesthesia or any injection, but then it looks like they did. He was just trying to exaggerate everything that happened. Yeah, if you come to the end of the video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and also share with your friends, and also click on the notification bell icon so that any content that I post, you will be the first to get it. Adios amigos, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.